I love your Canadian accent, it's awesome.
Toronto was supposed to be another night for Caitlin Clark's critics to talk, but instead, Caitlin took over, and Sophie Cunningham helped silence the noise. Caitlin Clark entered Toronto with all eyes on her. The expectations were massive, the pressure was real, and once again, people were waiting to see whether she could deliver. But Caitlin didn't seem interested in the outside noise. She stayed focused, played with confidence, and showed why so many fans continue to believe in her. Every time the critics try to write her off, Caitlin seems to find another way to remind everyone why she matters. And then there was Sophie Cunningham. Sophie brought that fearless energy fans have come to expect from her. Instead of worrying about the criticism, she responded with confidence and toughness. Caitlin answered with her basketball. Sophie answered with her attitude. And together, they gave the haters something they definitely didn't want to see. Another reason to keep talking about them.
When you think about your own legacy, and when people use the words like Caitlin Clark effect, what do you want that to mean when people think back on your legacy as a player?
Yeah, I mean, I hope at the end of the day, a lot of my favorite players growing up, I don't know how many points they ever ended up scoring, or I don't know how many three-pointers they made. Hopefully it's just the impact that you can leave on people and the way you made them feel, and I think that's kind of been the story of my career, and I hope, when I'm done playing one day, that's what people remember the most about me, is the way I've been able to unite people to cheer on basketball and love a game.
Sometimes the best response to the haters isn't an argument. It's what you do on the court. And Toronto gave Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham that opportunity. Caitlin Clark has become one of the most talked about players in basketball, and that comes with a lot of pressure. Every game is analyzed. Every mistake becomes a headline. And every big performance brings another wave of attention. But instead of letting that pressure control her, Caitlin continues to compete in Toronto. She looked determined to make her presence felt. And Sophie Cunningham brought her own brand of confidence to the moment. Sophie has never been afraid of criticism, and she certainly wasn't going to let outside opinions change the way she plays. That's what made this moment so interesting. Caitlin stayed composed. Sophie stayed fearless. And the critics? They were left with plenty to talk about.
Bring people together to, love a sport in a way that they've maybe never have before. There's so many people that have come up to me and been like, I've never watched women's basketball before, and I don't take offense to that. I think that's a really cool thing to, bring people in that have maybe never experienced something that I've loved all my life. And so I hope, when I'm done, that's probably the biggest thing that I'll probably look back on my career and be proud of, is just the amount of people that I've been able to bring in and enjoy the game that I've always loved since I was a young kid.
Wait until you hear what happened in Toronto. Because Caitlin Clark didn't just answer her critics. She gave them another reason to watch. There was pressure surrounding Caitlin before the game even started. Fans were watching, critics were watching, and social media was ready to react to every single moment. But Caitlin stayed locked in. She didn't need to respond to every criticism. She didn't need to prove herself with words. She simply played. And when Caitlin gets comfortable, the entire energy of a game can change. Sophie Cunningham also refused to back down. Her confidence, physicality, and competitive attitude made it clear that she wasn't interested in playing scared. That's the difference between talking about pressure and actually handling it. Caitlin showed it with her game. Sophie showed it with her confidence. And Toronto became another chapter in a story that keeps getting bigger.
Pass, scan the QR code and subscribe today for just $14.99 a month.
They questioned Caitlin. They criticized Sophie. But Toronto became the stage where both of them had a chance to answer back. Being Caitlin Clark isn't easy anymore. Every night comes with enormous expectations. People expect her to make big plays, carry the pressure, and deliver something unforgettable. And when she doesn't, the critics are ready. But Caitlin has learned something important. She doesn't have to answer everyone. She just has to keep playing. That's exactly what made her presence in Toronto so important. And Sophie Cunningham brought another layer to the story. Sophie has always played with emotion and confidence, and she wasn't about to let criticism dictate her mindset. Instead of backing down, she kept competing. Because sometimes the strongest response isn't saying anything at all. It's showing up. It's competing. And it's refusing to let the noise change who you are.
Sophie, you got booed a little bit tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
I was kidding.
Especially
I know.
for that. But you know what? I will tell you, I want to shout out the Tempo crowd in the city. I think we've had so much fun. It's my first time being in Canada. It's a lot of our first times being in Canada. But the crowd was absolutely amazing. And, you know, I think that's what sports is all about. You're going to get boos, you're going to get cheers. But just the fact that they're so passionate, they're loud, and they're putting on for the city, I think it's amazing. So shout out to you guys for coming out and supporting.
For Caitlin Clark's fans, this was the kind of moment they've been waiting for. A chance to see Caitlin respond when the pressure was at its highest. There's something special about watching Caitlin Clark when the expectations are enormous. You can feel the pressure surrounding every possession. One great play can send fans into celebration, while one mistake can instantly become a social media debate. But Caitlin continues to show that she can handle the attention. She stays aggressive, stays confident, and keeps believing in her game. And Sophie Cunningham brings that same confidence in a completely different way. She plays with emotion, she plays with personality, and she refuses to let critics decide how she should compete. That combination is exactly why fans are so invested. Caitlin brings the skill, Sophie brings the fire, and when they're both making an impact, the conversation becomes impossible to ignore. Toronto wasn't just another stop for Caitlin Clark. It became another reminder that the louder the criticism gets, the more determined she seems to become. Caitlin Clark knows what comes with being one of the biggest names in women's basketball. There will always be critics. There will always be people waiting for her to fail. And there will always be someone ready to turn one bad moment into a bigger story. But Caitlin keeps coming back. She keeps competing. And she keeps giving her fans reasons to believe. Sophie Cunningham understands that pressure too. Instead of letting criticism break her confidence, Sophie continues to play with that fearless mentality that makes her stand out. And maybe that's the biggest message from Toronto. You don't have to silence every critic with words. Sometimes you simply keep showing up. You keep competing. You keep believing. And eventually your performance becomes the answer. Caitlin took over the moment. Sophie brought the fire. And the haters? They were left watching once again.